What's going on? If you remember, I bought this boat last year around March, and it's a center console, first center console boat I've ever owned. I just like the concept of it. I thought it was cool. A lot of the places I fish has got a lot of crap in the water, so standing up while you're driving kind of makes sense and makes it easier to see what's going on. But a lot of these center consoles, especially when you get down into the bays and stuff, they'll have what they call a leaning post behind the console. I don't know if you've ever priced a leaning post, but they ain't giving them away. The cheapest one I found is like close to 600 bucks. And almost all of them I've seen are bolt in. So once you put them in, it's gonna be a pain in the butt to get it out, which is the issue for me in my boat because it's about the smallest boat you can get for a center console. It's a 1756. So I don't want to eat up a whole bunch of room in my boat for a leaning post that I can't take in and out. Like on days that I know I'm gonna be fishing with a buddy, who's gonna be fishing in the back of the boat, having to jack around with a big old seat in his way. So I was on the interweb the other day and I come across Millennium Seats, and they have this one style called a Palma horse seat. It's pretty cool. It didn't come with this base. It wasn't too bad. I think it was like 80 bucks, which, don't get me wrong, that's a lot of money for a boat seat, but Millennium stuff is pretty expensive and supposed to be really, really nice. Another issue I run into is the seat base for my boat, the receiver part, is pretty far back. You can see it back there. So if your seat's straight up and down and you're standing up here, that's too far back to lean on. So I got to dig around on the internet again and I come up with this. It's an Easy T pole perch. It's basically what it is, if I don't drop it, is this pin right here goes into your seat base, into the receiver, and it offsets your seat. This one's 8 inches. I think they had some that was 6 inches, and your seat goes in on top. So it pushes the whole seat forward 8 inches. All right, so that pretty much solves that problem. 8 inches ended up being almost perfect. So what I'm trying to do is a poor man's leaning post. I run into a couple problems. Not huge problems. Like I said, what I got right now is gonna work fine. But, like I said, I got a couple issues and I'm gonna try to fix them today. Hopefully they'll work out. Let me show you. All right, so this setup, basically, like I said, here's my receiver. You just push this in and it's locked down. I got this. This is just an Atwood. I think it was like 15 bucks off Amazon. So then this piece just slides right on in. All right, and that's cool, right? The thing about it, I mean, that's almost perfect. Driving the boat, I mean, I'm leaned back. I got a lot of weight off my feet. But the issue I'm running into is this. I don't want it to swivel. I don't want to be driving and then possibly hit something and swing out, fall out the boat. The best idea I can come up with about getting this to stop swiveling is to drill a hole all the way through the perch and through this too, and put a pin through it, one of the locking pins like you see on deer stands. I hope it works. If it don't, could be out some money. I think it's gonna work. This metal is pretty thin, and then you got this plastic piece on the inside. The main problem might be drilling through this. But I'm gonna try to lock everything down as best as I can, get it on a good level surface, and then drill it through. And also, what I'd like to do is what you see with a bunch of the leaning posts is they have rod holders in the back. Now, last year I was using this little cheap setup that come with my old boat that somebody just made. And it was real janky. This is it right here. It's just homemade. It's got them real cheap rod holders on it. But I ended up drilling a big hole in it. And what I would do is I would put it over this base. And then I got this big old bolt and I would just push it through. And kind of thread on. But the thing about it, you can see, you know, it's real rocky. It's not steady at all. Plus these pole holders are trash basically. So what I'd like to do is rig up something on this seat. It came with a cap right here and I popped it off. What I'm going to try to do is build like a goalpost style thing coming up behind it and put 2 rod holders on it. And that's what I plan on doing. I hope it works. I don't know. Well, let's get to work. See if we can make a G3 boat, poor man's leaning post. All right, now, what I was talking about by pins is this one right here. This is a 5/16 pin. And what I want to try to do is drill a hole all the way through where I can slide this pin in and clamp it. That way, I mean, I can take this seat off if I want to and, you know, kind of halfway pack it up so I ain't just got this big gaudy thing just laying in my boat if I need to move it while I'm out on the water. So that's what I'm gonna do right now is try to drill us a hole right here, and I got to keep it center as I can. Wish me luck. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to get me a little starting spot. All right, here goes nothing. All right, there's my pilot hole. Whew. That's got a little wiggle to it, but it's this base that's moving around. Definitely not as much as what it was before. I have to find something to put under these feet probably that'll grab this flooring I got in here. First thing that comes to mind is just the rough end of Velcro, but I don't know if that'll work. And then anything will help. This stuff is powder coated, is real slick, so I'm not very surprised that it's moving like that. But anyways, this up here is pretty firm, so it worked. That was a lot more work than I expected it to be. Daggum, I broke 3 different drill bits drilling through that. It was that seat post. That thing is hard. I went and bought a bit that was, I think it was like $9, and it was for hard metal, and it didn't get one turn before it snapped in half. I need to take that piece of crap back. That part of the project is done, except for figuring out what to put on this base. But I think it'll be fine, even just the way it is. I mean, it's definitely, this top part isn't swiveling. It's the bottom part that's swiveling now, so. Okay, so now, I'll show you guys what I want to do with this rod holder. All right, so this is what I got. This is all threaded pipe, stainless. I come across this for free, so I'm not exactly sure how much this would cost. I'm sure it wouldn't be very cheap, but it was cheap for me because I got it for free. But it's basically, hopefully this will just slide in there, and then what I'm gonna do, I got these caps. I'm hoping go buy some more drill bits to drill these and tap them to the ends of the monster rod holders. That way I can just screw them right in there. That's my plan, at least. All right, let's see if this is gonna work. All right, so threaded part's going in there, but it's stopping where the thread ends. I don't know if I could tap it in. If I tap it in, it might not ever come back out, which would be okay if I was just left with this and I could still take this part off if I wanted to. Let's try it. That's gonna be my problem. Now, Whew. This is a pain in the butt. No projects go smooth, for me at least. I got some extra parts. Let me go see if I can't rig something up, get it away from this seat. All right. So I was able to put 2 elbows in here and a little bitty short piece, and that was able to get it up away from the seat so I could screw it down. But that's basically the look I want to go for. Now, obviously nothing's all the way tight right now, but I ordered 4 monster rod holders. I'm going to replace these cheap ones I have on each corner, and then obviously the other 2 are going to go right here. So I really can't finish up until they come in, so I can figure out exactly. I mean, these might have to go straight up and down, because I know them things got a angle to them. They're like them 2 or 3 position rod holders. I don't want to get all this stuff exactly in place and then it not work out. So I'm kind of at a stopping point right now until I get that shipment in. I'll pick this up whenever my rod holders come in. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean up these threads around here, and I'm gonna just put a little tack weld on each one of them to hold everything in place. Let's go ahead and knock that out. I would like to weld a couple spots on the boat, tack them, but I want to leave this connection right here to where I can unscrew this if I ever have to. This ain't gonna win no beauty pageant awards, but it's gonna work. It's heavy, and now they got it all tacked in, it's not gonna go anywhere. So I'm gonna let this cool and give it a couple coats of paint. And I needed some 1/2-inch stainless steel nuts, and then I already got the monster rod holders, and I gotta put them in. That way I can lock it down with a height to the rod holders where I want it to be. And this project will be done. Besides, I got 2 extra rod holders, monster rod holders, to put on each corner of the boat. And I already had 2 there, the cheap ones like you can get from Walmart. But the ones you get from Walmart are smaller in size. I guess like a 3/8, and the monsters is a 1/2. So the ones I got come with a little base where it's got like 3 screws where you can screw it down to your boat, and it has a threaded piece in the middle for you to screw it into. I'm hoping I can take those off and re-drill it and then tap it for a 1/2-inch. I had to get a guy at work to make these little reducers for me, which it kind of looks goofy, but I was going to just do like a 1/2-inch cap. And I don't know if you ever try to drill through stainless steel pipe like this, but it ain't nothing fun. You really need something better set up for. That's why it's reduced like that. But the bases that I'm trying to drill into look like they're made out of aluminum, so it shouldn't be no problem, I hope. I just hope I don't mess it up, because if I don't use those, I could use them on this other boat that I'm building. So hopefully this goes good and everything will work out. Let's let this cool off for a little bit. All right, like I was talking about the other day, is these are the mounts that you get with them real cheap Walmart rod holders, which, I mean, they're not terrible, but they're definitely not suited for hardcore catfishing. But anyways, what I did is I drilled the hole out and then tapped it for a 1/2-inch, which was really easy to do because this is aluminum. So I just want to show you guys that. And I also drilled a 1/2-inch hole all the way through the boat itself. That way I can get it down lower if I need to. Before, them cheap rod holders, it just went down and then bottomed out on the boat itself. So these will be able to go down further. So all I had to do was just twist these on till it got far enough down, and then tighten that nut up, which I didn't. I just kind of got it hand tight. That way I still want to be able to twist it a little bit if I have to when I'm out on the water, in case I want the rod angled out a little bit further or more in. So that worked. Well, it's definitely not the prettiest thing in the world, but I think it's going to be effective. And I don't expect anybody to do it just like I did. I'm sure there's 1,000 different ways. I mean, you could have just welded up channel or square tubing or something, it'd been a lot prettier. I just used what was available to me that was cheap. So like I said, I hope this gives somebody an idea on what to do if you're wanting a leaning post but don't want to spend $500. I mean, I think this whole project, you know, cost me, you know, the seat and the seat post was the most expensive things. I think it was like, what, 80 and 60 or something, I don't even remember. And then the rod holders, you know, that they don't give them away, but you don't have to use monster rod holders if you don't want to. You can go with the cheaper ones. So there you go. I'm glad this project's done. I just got to go put them to use now.